In this tutorial I'm going to be showing you how to do the star stitch. This is a really beautiful stitch, texture to it. It has a row of half trebles in between just to really emphasize those stitches, but they really are lovely. So let's have a look at the tutorial. Hello, my name's Karen Stangram and welcome to Conquer Crochet, the channel for tips, tricks and techniques for conquering your crochet. Everything I talk about in today's video will be linked in the descriptions below. And if you're new here, please consider subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you don't miss a single stitch. So if you're keen to get going with this video, give me a thumbs up and let's do this. So for this tutorial I'm going to be using the Lily Sugar and Cream. This is in the light blue colour. Sorry, that's all gone blurry. So this is in light blue, and that's what the yarn label looks like. So it's it's a medium. They recommend using a 4.5mm crochet hook or a 5mm crochet hook. I'm going to be using a 5mm crochet hook today. I have scissors to cut off my end, needle to sew in my end, and my stitch marker for the end of my project. So we're going to start off with a slip knot. You can do this in whichever way you prefer. And we're going to do a foundation chain and then a foundation before we start on the star stitch, just so we've got a nice solid base to work into. It's an easy stitch once you get the hang of it, but to know where to put the stitches in at the beginning can be quite tricky, so having that foundation row is really quite useful. Okay, so we're going to do a chain. You can do a chain of any number as long as it is an odd number. So I'm going to go up to 21. So if you want to pause the video whilst you do your 21 chains, you can pause the video now or hang on and you'll see how I get on to the next row. So I have my 21 and I'm going to do a double crochet. That's UK terminology. In US terminology that would be a, and we're going to do that in the second chain from the hook, so not the one on the hook. So that would be 1, that's 2, and we're going to work a double crochet into there. And this is our foundation row, so we're going to do a double crochet all the way down the row. So you can pause the video now whilst you work your double crochet, or hang on and I will see you at the end of this foundation row. Okay, so that's the foundation row complete. We're now going to start on the star stitch row. So we're going to turn our work before. You can normally do it before or after, but if you chain first, we're actually going to be working into that chain. So if I just show you, so it'd be a turn our work. It's a little bit trickier to get into the chains. If you prefer to do it that way, it's absolutely fine. I prefer to turn my work and then do my chain 3. So 1, 2, 3, and I find this way that the stitches are actually facing you rather than them being a little bit more awkward to get into. So chain 3. We're then going to work in the second chain from the hook, so not the one on the hook, not the first one, but the second one. We go in there with a sort of slip stitch, so we go in, grab our yarn and pull it back through. So we should have 2 loops on our hook. I'm going to go into the next stitch, so that would be the first chain of that chain 3, grab our yarn and pull through. So we now have 3 loops on our hook. Let me just move this a little bit closer. We're then going to go into the very first stitch, yarn over and pull through, 4 loops, go into the next stitch, yarn through, we now have a hook, go into the next, pull through, we have 6 loops on our hook. Then go to yarn over and pull through all 6 of those stitches, and you'll see that it pulls up that 3 chain there to make your side, and you have this lovely sort of fan effect going on here. Now to finish off that star stitch, we're just going to yarn over and pull through the loop on our hook, and this is the eye of the star stitch. So to do the next star stitch, we only ever do the chain 3 at the beginning of a row. into the eye. So it feels a bit weird going in there, but you're going to go into the eye, yarn over and pull through. We're then going to go into this stitch here. So one of the spikes there, we're going to go in between the spikes, yarn over and pull back through. Okay, then where that spike goes into that next stitch, we're going to work into there, yarn over and pull through. So we've got 4 loops on our hook. We need to have 6, so we need to have another 2. So we're going to work into the next 2 double crochet row. So 1 and 2. So we have 6 loops on our hook, yarn over and pull through all 6, yarn over to make the eye. So let me just go through that again with you. So you go through the eye, yarn over, pull through. Make sure when you close the eye you don't pull it, get your hook back through. So that's 1. We've got these lovely little spikes here. We're going to go between the last 2 spikes, yarn over, pull through. Going to work into this gap here where the last spike is worked. We're going to work in there, and then we work into the next 2 stitches. Okay, yarn over and pull through and make the eye. One last time just so we've definitely got it. Once you've got it, it's really easy and you'll be flying. So into the eye, yarn over, pull through. Between those 2 spikes, we're going to put our crochet hook through there, yarn over, pull back through. Into the stitch where the last spike is worked, we're going to work a stitch in there. So insert, yarn over, pull, and into the last 2 stitches. So we should have 6 hook, we yarn over and we pull through all 6. Yarn over and close the eye. And we're going to work that all the way down the end. So video whilst you work your way to the end of your row, and I will meet you at the end of the row. If you're just watching this for fun, I shall see you in. So I've just come to the end of my row of star stitches, and I have 1 stitch left, and in that stitch I'm going to do a half treble. That would be a half double in US terminology, so a half treble. So yarn over, insert into that last stitch, yarn over, pull through, and yarn over and pull through the 3 stitches you have there. Okay, so that is our first row. We're then going to chain 1 and turn our work. We're now going to work half trebles into each of the eyes on the reverse, and we're going to do trebles in each eye. So yarn over, insert, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through the 3 loops, yarn over, insert into the same eye, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through all 3. And we're just going to work that all the way down the row. That's 1 and 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Now if you're working on your own and you want to pause the video, now would be a good time to pause, and I will see you in a moment. So I've come to the end of my half trebles row, and I have 1 stitch left at the end, and we're going to work 1 half treble into that final stitch. So there we have a half treble row, and if you turn it over you can see you've got your star row and your half treble row. So we're going to turn our work and we're going to chain 3, and this is where this row 2 repeats. So it's row 2, row 3, row 2, row 3, all the way through. So the foundation chain, the foundation row are never repeated. So I've chained 3, I'm going to work in the second chain for my hook, pull the yarn through, third chain for my hook, pull the yarn through, first stitch, second stitch and third stitch. I have my 6 loops on my hook, I yarn over and I pull through all 6. Yarn over and pull through the one on my hook to make the eye. And you carry on exactly the same way, so through the eye, through the spikes, in the stitch where the final spike is made, and the next 2 stitches. Check you've got 6 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 6 loops, yarn over to close the eye. And we just work that all the way down the row. Then when you get to the end, you chain 1 and you do your half treble row. Come to the end of that row, make sure you put the single half treble in the very last stitch, chain 3 and you start your star stitch row all over again. So I'm just going to work up a few more rows for you to see how it looks, and I shall see you in a moment. So I've just worked up a few more rows for you to see how it looks. Obviously slightly different on the back, there's obviously a wrong side and the right side. So we've got 3 rows of the star stitch and 3 rows of half trebles, and the half trebles really do emphasize that star stitch and make it stand out beautifully. I would suggest if you're doing this for a blanket or a scarf or any other project that you end on the half treble row, just to give it that nice sort of professional edge, and also if you're wanting to put more of a border onto it or tassels or something, you've got a more stable edging to actually attach that to. So that's how to do the star stitch. I really hope you found today's tutorial useful. If there are any information that you need to find out about this video, have a look in the descriptions below where I post all the links to any freebies and other videos I think. Don't forget, if you have enjoyed this video, to give me a thumbs up below. Don't forget also to subscribe and hit the notification bell if you've enjoyed it and you'd like to see more of my tutorial videos. There are 2 other videos on screen to help you on your crochet journey, and I will see you over there. Thank you so much for joining me on this one, and happy hooking!